The Hidden Truth About Iran in the Bible explores the intriguing connections between ancient Persia, modern-day Iran, and its appearances in biblical scriptures. The concept introduced in the heading, Introduction to Iran's Biblical References, delves into how Iran, historically known as Persia, plays a significant role in biblical narratives. Renowned for its vast empire and influence, Persia is depicted in various biblical texts, offering a rich tapestry of historical and theological insights. The significance of Iran's biblical references lies in their profound impact on the unfolding stories of the Bible, especially during the Jewish exile and subsequent liberation. Persia is most notably mentioned in the context of the Babylonian exile, where King Cyrus the Great is credited for his decree that allowed the Israelites to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. This momentous event is recorded in the books of Isaiah, Ezra, and Chronicles, underscoring Persia's pivotal role in Jewish history. One real-world example illustrating this point is the Cyrus Cylinder, often dubbed the first charter of human rights, which corroborates biblical accounts of Cyrus's policies, promoting religious tolerance and repatriation. Another instance is the story of Esther, a Jewish queen of Persia, whose bravery saved her people from extermination. This narrative is celebrated during the Jewish festival of Purim and highlights the complex relationship between Jews and Persians. Supporters of the idea that Persia's biblical references bear great significance argue that these stories demonstrate divine intervention through foreign rulers, reflecting the broader theme of God's sovereignty over nations. Furthermore, scholars emphasize that these accounts provide a historical bridge, connecting ancient Persia with modern Iran's cultural and religious heritage. Conversely, some challenges and controversies arise from differing interpretations of these texts. Critics suggest that viewing Persia solely through a biblical lens may oversimplify its historical intricacies or lead to biased perceptions. Additionally, debates continue regarding the extent of biblical accuracy in the historical portrayal of Persian leaders. This exploration of Iran's biblical references connects deeply to other aspects of the hidden truth about Iran in the Bible by providing historical context that enriches understanding of prophetic literature and eschatology. It influences contemporary discussions on Middle Eastern geopolitics, as modern Iran's identity is partly shaped by its ancient heritage, inviting reflection on how biblical narratives continue to resonate today. Through examining these scriptural connections, we gain valuable insights into the enduring legacy of Persia in religious traditions and global history. The historical context of Iran in ancient scriptures delves into how references to the region now known as Iran are woven throughout biblical texts. Ancient Iran corresponds largely to Persia, a powerful empire that significantly influenced the Near East. Its presence in the Bible provides a historical and theological lens through which we can understand its role in shaping religious narratives and events. Key biblical figures such as Cyrus the Great, the Persian king, are depicted as instruments of divine will. Cyrus is celebrated for freeing the Jews from Babylonian captivity, an act seen as pivotal in Jewish history and contributing to the prophecy and fulfillment narratives within the Bible. The significance of Iran in these scriptures is profound. It not only highlights the geopolitical interactions of the time, but also underscores the theological theme of divine intervention in human affairs. For instance, in the book of Daniel, the Persian Empire symbolizes the transition of power decreed by God, tying into the broader biblical motif of kingdoms rising and falling under divine oversight. Thus, the biblical portrayal of Iran serves as a testament to the intricate interplay between divine purpose and historical occurrences. World applications of this concept can be seen in the study and interpretation of religious texts, influencing theological discourse across Judaism, Christianity, and even influencing Islamic views, as Iran's historical narrative is integral to understanding these Abrahamic faiths. Additionally, it sheds light on modern geopolitical understandings by tracing historical precedents for conflict and cooperation in the region. Opinions vary regarding Iran's portrayal in the Bible. Some scholars view the positive depiction of Cyrus as evidence of the Bible's historical reliability and theological depth, while others consider it a narrative tool to convey spiritual messages rather than concrete history. Controversies arise around the historical accuracy of these accounts and their implications for contemporary religious and political narratives. Some critics argue that biblical texts reflect a theological agenda rather than factual history, casting doubt on the depth of influence attributed to ancient Iran. This historical context links to broader themes of divine providence and human agency within biblical texts, influencing religious interpretations that extend to ethical and moral teachings. The depiction of Iran in ancient scriptures echoes themes of liberation, justice, and the cyclical nature of empires, reinforcing the overarching biblical narrative of hope and redemption. Through these insights, we gain a deeper understanding of both the historical and spiritual dimensions of biblical stories, revealing the layered complexity of Iran's role in this ancient tapestry. The heading Prophetic Mentions and Symbolism refers to the various references and symbolic representations of Iran, historically known as Persia, found within biblical texts. In the Bible, Iran is often mentioned indirectly or symbolically through prophecies and allegorical language, rather than explicit references. The significance of this topic lies in how these mentions provide a deeper understanding of Iran's role and influence in biblical history, as well as its potential significance in prophetic literature. One notable example is the Book of Daniel, where Persia plays a key role in the prophecy of the ram and the goat in Daniel 8. The ram with two horns represents the kings of Media and Persia, symbolizing the expansive power of the Persian Empire. This prophecy highlights the transition of power and the eventual coming of other empires, creating a tapestry of historical and spiritual lessons. Another significant example is found in the Book of Esther, which, although not prophetic, provides essential insights into the life of Jews in Persia and the socio-political dynamics of the time. Esther's story symbolizes divine intervention and protection of the Jewish people within a Persian context. Supporters of the idea that Iran holds a significant biblical role often argue that these mentions underscore Iran's historical importance and its potential implications in modern geopolitical and eschatological contexts. They believe that understanding these symbols and prophecies can offer insights into current and future global events, often drawing parallels between ancient Persia and modern Iran. However, this viewpoint isn't without its controversies. Some scholars caution against overinterpretation of biblical texts, arguing that the symbolic nature of prophecies can lead to subjective and varied interpretations. Others point out that interpreting modern events through a biblical lens can result in selective understanding, where complex geopolitical dynamics are oversimplified. Despite these challenges, exploring prophetic mentions of Iran in the Bible can enrich our understanding of the historical and spiritual contexts in which these texts were written. This point influences other aspects of the main topic by offering a framework for discussing how ancient prophecies may relate to contemporary issues, encouraging dialogue about the intersection of faith, history, and current events. Ultimately, these discussions invite audiences to reflect on the enduring legacy of ancient civilizations and their potential impact on today's world. The concept of key biblical figures associated with Iran introduces us to individuals in the Bible whose narratives intersect with the region historically known as Persia, now modern-day Iran. This point is significant as it provides a historical and theological context, revealing the intertwined destinies of the people of this region in the biblical story. Through these figures, we gain insights into the cultural, political, and spiritual dynamics that shape biblical history and its connections to Iran. One key figure is Cyrus the Great, the Persian king mentioned in the Bible, particularly in the books of Isaiah, Daniel, and Ezra. Cyrus is celebrated for his decree that allowed the Jewish exiles to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple, a pivotal moment in Jewish history. This act of benevolence not only emphasizes Cyrus's historical significance, but also highlights Persia's role as a catalyst in the restoration of the Jewish community, contributing to the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. Another example is Esther, a Jewish queen of Persia whose story is central to the Purim festival. The Book of Esther narrates how Esther and her cousin Mordecai thwarted a plan to annihilate the Jewish people within the Persian Empire. Esther's story showcases themes of courage, identity, and divine providence, illustrating the complex interplay of cultural influences in the Persian court and highlighting the significance of Jewish heritage in a foreign land. Supporters of these narratives argue that they illustrate the openness and influence of Persian culture in biblical history, showing a rare instance of cooperation between Jewish and Persian leaders. However, there are challenges and controversies surrounding these interpretations. Critics may view the biblical accounts as idealistic portrayals that oversimplify the political complexities of the era. Others may argue about the accuracy and historicity of these narratives, given the scarcity of corroborating historical evidence. This topic connects to broader themes within the biblical narrative, such as exile, redemption, and the sovereignty of God over nations and rulers, demonstrating how divine purposes are carried out through diverse means and peoples. By examining these figures, we understand how the interactions between Jewish and Persian cultures have left an enduring impact on religious tradition and history, further illustrating the hidden truths about Iran's role in the biblical narrative.